For over 370 years they have stood against tyranny, against oppression. They fight, not for power, but for freedom. Their ranks are made up of the very communities and homes they defend. Although their beginnings were humble, they would grow to become a crucial element within the most powerful fighting force in the world. They are the Maine Army National Guard. The Maine Army National Guard's proud history and traditions date back to American independence and years before. In 1774, hostilities broke out between Great Britain and the American colonies, erupting into an open rebellion. Maine, a proud patriotic province, mustered companies of militia who helped fight in battles such as Saratoga, Monmouth, New York, and the Siege of Boston. In the War of 1812, British forces held much of northern Maine, and after winning a victory at the Battle of Hampden, the British set their gaze toward the southern part of the province. The citizens of Maine, who at the time were still under the control of Massachusetts, pleaded to their government for aid. The governor of Massachusetts refused. No help would come, and Maine would be left to the British.
It was requested that Massachusetts militia come up, mobilize, help protect our borders and our towns and our shipping. Massachusetts refused because their interests were Massachusetts and not the District of Maine. You know, they were self-protectionists, wanted to stay home, protect their own home front. We were kind of left to the wolves, so to speak. So from that point on, it was pretty much a course set in motion that Maine was going to be self-reliant again.
Outraged and defiant Maine citizens raised their own militia, manning forts and digging in to defend their homes. When the British arrived in Portland, what they found were bristling defenses and a militia ready for a fight. Deciding that the fortifications around Portland were too strong, the British called off their attack. Although the battle was avoided, the implications of this event would change the political atmosphere in Maine forever, starting a push for statehood, which Maine would receive 6 years later. Maine's patriotism was tested again during the Civil War. It did not falter. Maine had the highest percentage of volunteer soldiers than any other state and was credited with turning the tide at the Battle of Gettysburg.
That same record holds true today in that per capita, we have the highest percentage of veterans of any other state in the nation. And that speaks very well, I think, to our commitment and dedication to our nation and to our state.
From the Civil War to Desert Storm, moving through the decades, the Maine Army National Guard and its members have supported the country's war-fighting effort in every major engagement.
I'm Command Sergeant Major Mark Smith. I think the Maine Army National Guard specifically, we match up quite well, and it's not just because of our skills, it's because of our good Maine traditions and hard-working soldiers.
With teamwork, integrity, and commitment, a guiding ethos they have carried with them at home and abroad.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane...
Then came the day that would change America and the world forever. With the beginning of the War on Terror, servicemen and women from the Maine Army Guard have been at the forefront of U.S. operations.
Well, the Maine Army National Guard prior to the 2001 was a reserve force for the active army, so we were more focused on the ice storm of '98, so on and so forth. But after 2001, with the United States going into 2 theaters of war, the active duty obviously could not keep up. So we transitioned quickly from '01 to currently into an operational force where to assist the active component in fighting 2 battles in two different countries, Maine Army National Guard was crucial.
Specialist Stoll. I've been an infantryman so far for about 13 years now in the military. I think it opened up a sense of what was really going on in the world that I think most Americans have been kind of closed off to until that happened, and it woke everyone up. And it was definitely a sense of pride and accomplishment to be able to go out and be a part of something that now is written in history books. And it's certainly a sense of pride that I can look back and say, I can name a couple books off the top of my head that are written about things that I've done.
Since its first deployment in 2003, Maine has deployed over 4,000 soldiers in support of the mission.
My name is Philip Flynn. I am a sergeant from Bravo Company. Basically, I'm controlling fires and making sure that everybody's where they're supposed to be and doing what they're supposed to be doing. We work harder, we train harder. If you're going to be a leader and you go overseas, you have people that are depending on you to make the right decisions, and their lives are in your hands.
The Maine Army Guard has stood as the backbone for many U.S. task forces, providing medical, transport, engineers, maintenance, and infantry.
They call upon us because we go to war and do our job professionally and very well. So it's been crucial. Most every single unit in the Maine Army National Guard has deployed, and I have some soldiers within our brigade that's deployed 4 and 5 times.
Mission-critical operations aimed at protecting and preserving American security at any price.
CW2, Joshua Young. Fly, Blackhawk pilots, 153 Delta. Fly for the medevac company. We need to be off the ground immediately when a call comes in. You know, with an air assault or a heavy lift operation, they usually have weeks to plan these things. And we wake up in the middle of the night, throw our gear on, and we're out the door. Us being able to do it as quickly as we do, and you know, our medics and crew chiefs being able to get the people loaded, and you know, whether it's a hoist mission or just loading them onto a litter, and the medics being able to provide care on the way back, that's huge for the people that we're picking up.
But the Maine Army National Guard's strength does not come just from its technology and firepower. Its true strength comes from the ingenuity and sacrifice given by its most powerful weapon, its soldiers.
I've never really been in a situation other than the military where I've had to press forward when I didn't want to. And it just really shows that your ability to continue pressing on through something difficult or something challenging, even when mentally it's the last thing you want to continue to do. Built up a mindset of, all right, well, you're always able to make it through it no matter what you want to do.
Obviously, it's a professional organization. We work hard, we train hard, but at the same time, there are people in the organization that I've known for 25 years. I know their families, I know their kids, and every single deployment we are able to demonstrate that we're as qualified, in our case, stand head and shoulders above our active duty counterparts because of our long-term working relationships. It's a small enough organization that we know each other. And the other thing is the civilian skill set that you bring to the table as a National Guard member. The active duty force does not have that. They might be a carpenter, or they might be a mechanic on the outside, or in the civilian capacity, and then they bring those skill sets. So when you need something during a deployment, they have those capabilities and very valuable.
Being able to be in an all-Maine unit is really nice because we're all, you know, we all know where everyone's from. We all know the same towns, and we all know each other. In other units, the medics hang out together, the support hang out together. You know, those groups get established because those are the people you train with. Whereas here, not only do we all train together, but we're also a lot more familiar because we know each other.
So we put that airplane in the air, and it takes all of us working as a team, from the mechanic on the floor to the pilots to the crew chiefs, everybody. It takes a team to do this, and you can't be an individual. You have to have teamwork to make this happen, and that's been that way since I've been here.
Members of a team who will never quit and who will never accept defeat, disciplined physically and mentally, always standing ready to deploy and defend freedom and the American way of life, a guardian, a soldier of the Maine Army National Guard.